Good morning, friends and church family. Today in Pastor Donna's sermon series about the 12 steps and how it relates to Pastor Donna's analogy of tending your personal garden, we are on steps 8 and 9. Step 8 says, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. And step 9 says, we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Step 8 is simply a list and a real honest and prayerful willingness to make good on all our hurtful ways and indiscretions. I would like you to take notice that in step 8, the word all is listed twice. I believe it is written that way to remind and discipline us to once again completely be as thorough as we can be. Remember when we did step 4? We were fearless and thorough with our inventory and shortcomings? Let's refer back to that inventory, and inside that inventory, we will find the core of our list. It is here that we find primary resentments and fears, the people closest to us that we have harmed. And it is my experience, having sponsored many men in their step work, that the most egregious harms committed were to those people closest to us, such as our parents, our spouse, our children. I would like to remind you of two things here. Number one, please do not forget to list institutions either. Many of us carry huge resentments towards, say, the church as an institution, to school, to law enforcement, to the institution of marriage, even the IRS, just to name a few. And number two, remember, you're honestly trying to be willing here, and so divide your list, I did, into two categories. Number one, those amends I'm willing to make now, and number two, those amends I may never be willing to make. I have done that, and I will ask you to trust me that you will be amazed before you are halfway through. In this process, that it does get easier. We are now heading into step 9. Remember, please, that as we go towards step 9, the actual step of making amends, we have to have complete understanding of the spiritual concept of amend and what that means. I would highlight two notions here. Number one, amend means to fix. We cannot just apologize for our wayward ways, although a sincere and contrite apology is important. We have to fix the situation. When we mend a broken fence, we do not just simply recognize that the fence is broken. We actually get the tools, the lumber, get the time, and we actually fix that fence. And number two, amend also means to change. Fixing a wrong just may and probably does mean changing. Think about it. When we amend a document, we change that document forever. Same principle here. Let me share with you two of mine. My behavior, my drunkenness, was the primary cause of the failure of my first marriage, and this handicapped greatly my son. He had an absent father as a result. This hurt my son's mother, my ex-wife, and believe it or not, the institution of marriage was listed on my step 8 as well. No amount of I'm sorries could repair this situation. So here are my real amends. My real fix was paying my child support on time and being the best father the good Lord wanted me to be. I did these things. I was a Cub Scout leader, a Little League coach. I participated in the PTA. I attended the parent-teacher conferences. I carried punishments from his other home over into my home on the weekends. I did my share of the doctor's visits, and just as importantly, I quit fighting his mother and causing all sorts of drama. This is what we call a living amends. I do not deserve accolades or extra cookies for this because this is what a good father is supposed to do. I now have a great relationship with my son and my grandchildren, and my ex-wife and I can sit at the same picnic table and visit our kids with joy and laughter at my son's barbecue. So, here we go. If you owe money, make arrangement to pay it back. If violence or drama has been your language, quit fighting and or stirring the pot. Contritely apologize, but most importantly, change. Two important notes here before I close. Number one, part of the step says, unless when to do so would injure them or others. Please be mindful that it is not the spiritual step to take to clear your roster at the expense of someone else. And this goes in hand with my prior advice. Please have a sponsor or spiritual advisor, such as your pastor, to go over these amends. People and relationships are brittle and require perhaps a gentle hand, and you may need a second opinion here to proceed. Thank you all, and please stay well. See you soon. Amen.